Deep beneath the golden hills and bustling cities of California lies a sleeping giant. It's a colossal scar in the Earth's crust, stretching over 800 miles, a silent, ever-present reminder of the immense power churning beneath our feet. This is the San Andreas Fault, one of the most famous and feared geological features on the planet. For decades, it has been the subject of intense study, chilling disaster movies, and the source of a constant low-level anxiety for millions of Californians. The question isn't if it will rupture, but when. And a series of new, unsettling discoveries suggest the big one might be bigger, more complex, and more unpredictable than we ever imagined. The ground is talking, and what it's saying is changing everything we thought we knew about this infamous fault line. To understand the future, scientists have to look to the past, and to a tiny town that has become the world's most important outdoor earthquake laboratory. Welcome to Parkfield, California. Population, 18. This unassuming community sits directly on top of the San Andreas Fault and holds a unique title, the earthquake capital of the world. Here, the fault moves with an almost clockwork regularity, producing a moderate, magnitude 6 earthquake roughly every 22 years. This predictable behavior made it the perfect location for the U.S. Geological Survey to launch the Parkfield experiment. Since the 1980s, scientists have blanketed this area with a dense network of instrument seismometers, GPS sensors, creep meters, and strain gauges, all designed to capture an earthquake in the act, from start to finish. They even drilled a deep borehole directly into the fault zone, creating a subterranean observatory to listen in on the Earth's faintest whispers. The goal was to catch the precursor signals, the subtle changes in the ground that might herald a coming quake. For years, the fault remained stubbornly quiet, missing its predicted mid-90s appointment. But then, in 2004, it happened. A magnitude 6.0 earthquake struck, and the array of instruments captured it all in stunning high-resolution detail. The data was a goldmine. It revealed how the rupture started, how it spread, and how the ground warped and shifted. It showed that the process was far more complex than simple models suggested. The earthquake didn't just zip along the fault line. It jumped, it hesitated, it sent out complex seismic waves that bounced and echoed through the crust. The Parkfield experiment has provided an unprecedented look into the physics of earthquakes. It's given us the most detailed picture we have of how a major fault behaves. But even as this data was being analyzed, a discovery from halfway around the world was about to send shockwaves through the seismological community and cast a new, ominous light on the San Andreas itself. Thousands of miles away, in Southeast Asia, lies a geological mirror image of the San Andreas, the Sagaing Fault in Myanmar. It's a similar type of fault, a right lateral strike slip, and it cuts through a densely populated region. In 2012, a powerful magnitude 7.8 earthquake ripped along this fault, but it did something that stunned scientists. Instead of a single, clean break, the earthquake ruptured in two distinct stages. The initial rupture was deep underground, but then, in a second, delayed phase, a separate section of the fault much closer to the surface suddenly gave way. This shallow rupture was incredibly violent and released a huge amount of energy right where it could do the most damage. This two-stage rupture, with a shallow slip pulse, was a new and terrifying behavior that hadn't been considered in most models for the San Andreas. Researchers from Columbia University's Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory realized the chilling implication. If the Sagaing Fault could do this, why not the San Andreas? They began re-examining the data from past California earthquakes, like the historic 1857 Fort Tejon quake. Their analysis suggested that a similar shallow, high-energy rupture might have happened then, too. This changes the game entirely. Previous models for the big one on the southern San Andreas assumed a single, deep rupture. But if a secondary, shallow rupture is possible, the ground shaking at the surface could be far more intense and destructive than current building codes and emergency plans are designed for. It means the energy from the quake wouldn't be muffled by miles of rock. It would be unleashed right at our feet. It's a sobering discovery that forces us to reconsider the worst-case scenario. This brings us to the most worrying part of the San Andreas system, the southern section, while the central section around Parkfield creeps along steadily, and the northern section ruptured in the great 1906 San Francisco earthquake. The southern section has been ominously quiet. This segment, running from the Salton Sea north towards Palmdale, has not experienced a major rupture in over 300 years. It's a period of silence that has allowed an immense amount of stress to build up. Think of it like bending a massive stick. The longer you bend it without it breaking, the more violent the eventual snap will be. This southern section is considered locked. The tectonic plates are still grinding past each other at a rate of about 1.5 inches per year. But here, the fault is stuck. All that motion, all that energy, is being stored as elastic strain in the surrounding rock. Scientists estimate that this section has accumulated enough stress to produce an earthquake of magnitude 7.8 or even larger. An earthquake of this magnitude would rupture for over 200 miles, shaking the entire Southern California region for up to 2 minutes. The combination of this immense stored energy and the potential for a sliding style shallow rupture creates a frightening new hazard profile. The USGS's shakeout scenario, which models a 7.8 on this section, is already catastrophic, predicting widespread infrastructure collapse, thousands of casualties, and economic disruption on a national scale. The new findings from Myanmar suggest even that grim scenario might be an underestimation of the ground-shaking intensity. The silent, locked southern fault isn't just a threat. It's a ticking time bomb, and every year that passes just adds more energy to the eventual explosion. So, is the giant beginning to stir? In recent years, Southern California has been rattled by a series of notable seismic events that have put everyone on edge. The 2019 Ridgecrest earthquake sequence, with its magnitude 6.4 and 7.1 shocks, occurred on a series of faults not far from the San Andreas. While not on the main fault itself, these powerful quakes significantly changed the stress patterns in the Earth's crust across the region. It's like a web. Plucking one strand sends vibrations across the entire structure. Scientists have carefully measured how the Ridgecrest quakes transferred stress, and while it didn't dramatically increase the load on the San Andreas, it served as a powerful reminder of the region's volatility. More recently, there have been clusters of small quakes directly on or near the locked southern section. In late 2023 and early 2024, swarms of minor tremors were detected near the Salton Sea, a seismically complex area where the San Andreas begins to fray. While small quakes and swarms are a normal part of life in California, their location is what draws attention. Are these just the normal creaks and groans of a stressed-out fault system, releasing tiny bits of pressure? Or are they the subtle foreshocks that could signal the beginning of a much larger failure? The truth is, we don't know for sure. Current science cannot definitively say whether a small quake is a prelude to a big one, but every tremor is a piece of the puzzle, meticulously recorded and analyzed, as scientists listen intently for any change in the fault's behavior, any sign that the 300-year silence is about to be broken. The picture of the San Andreas Fault is becoming clearer, but also more intimidating. We now know that the big one could be a multi-stage event, with a shallow, violent rupture capable of producing ground shaking that exceeds our current preparations. We know the southern section is locked, loaded, and long overdue. The ongoing research at Parkfield, combined with lessons learned from earthquakes around the globe, is crucial. Scientists are refining their models, improving their monitoring networks, and working tirelessly to understand the complex physics of these devastating events. Their work is vital, but it can't stop the earthquake. It can only help us prepare. The big one isn't a Hollywood fantasy. It is a geological certainty. The responsibility now falls on governments, communities, and every single individual to take this threat seriously. Having an earthquake kit, a family plan, and securing heavy objects in your home are not paranoid gestures. They are essential steps for survival. The Earth has given us a warning. The question is, are we listening? Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the science that shapes our world. Stay safe and stay prepared.